I passed my neighbor the other day while walking my dog. He looked at me and said, "It's getting weird." And he was 100% correct. It is weird, and it's getting more weird. Do you feel it? But before we get too weird, I'd like to thank all of the new subscribers to this channel. But to all of you, don't feel too uncomfortable because it's not always this weird. It's just that the markets are trying to understand what's going on, and more importantly, where this is all heading. When the markets get a handle on the situation, we will know before most. So let's focus on the brass tacks. So far, we know that $7 trillion of liquidity has been announced or promised by global central banks to address the 2020 crash and recession. $5 trillion of fiscal stimulus have been announced or promised and to be underwritten by central banks to address the 2020 crash and recession. $13 trillion for financial assets have been provided by the Fed, the European Central Bank, the Bank of Japan, the Bank of England, and the Swiss National Bank since Lehman Brothers. And there have been 853 interest rate cuts by global central banks since Lehman Brothers, with 65 rate cuts in 2020 alone. So let's take a look at the charts and go get some of that cash. And today we're going to look at all three charts, beginning with the monthly, then we'll go to the weekly and the daily. We're going to use the diamonds, DIA. This is the SPDR, Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, and it's a good proxy for the Dow Jones Industrials. As you can see here, we closed Friday at 216.35. The bottom was at that point. The top was there. And of course, right here was the close today on Friday. Going back this 20 years, the only thing that compares is there, the top in 2007 and then the bottom in 2009. Now, that took a year, maybe a year and a half. This here took a couple of weeks. Are we done yet? Well, we're not quite sure, but we'll see. Now, we're not going to spend too much time here with the monthly. As you can see, the oscillators haven't had time to really assess everything that's going on. It's going to take some more time, but we can say that we're still above zero, which means we have a lot of strength. It isn't necessary that we remain above zero, but within reach of zero. If we can bottom within reach of zero, then we have some opportunities going in the future. Going down here, the MAC histogram looks terrible. The price rate of change, not too bad, but it doesn't look all that great. Relative strength, that all the way down to 26.39, very weak. Now, none of these are really showing any possibility of a bottoming process yet. Again, it's too early. Volume doesn't look too bad. I'd like to see that pick up though. And then the Williams, it did have a bounce here after going into that oversold territory, but I think we have more to go. Back up here to the price chart, one last look. Now let's go to the weekly. And this now is the 3-year weekly chart on the diamonds. And as you can see here, the bottom at that point there, we had a pretty good bounce all the way up here. Again, there's still not enough time to really assess what's going on, but we can see back here in late 2018, that bottom and the top there, it was a pretty good waterfall down to that level there, and it was a V recovery on up there. Now, so far, this is a very sharp V. Is it going to be a V recovery? I'm not quite sure yet. I think looking at the MAC, and we've talked about this before, there's still quite a separation between the slow line there and the fast line here. And that difference, there's a long way for that fast line to close before it gets to that slow line. So that means we're going to either have to trade sideways or there's going to be some volatility up and down. So we'll have to experience that, but we'll watch it because I think it might be able to close relatively quickly depending upon what happens here. Again, the histogram looks ugly. The price rate of change also ugly, but we had a nice bounce there. Still a pretty good separation between those two. Time will tell. Here, relative strength all the way down to this level. a nice bounce back up here to 30.58. So still not reasonably close to that midline, but I think it can move in that direction and will move in that direction. We're just going to have to wait and see here. Down to the stochastics, a nice little fish hook there. Hasn't really gone anywhere. Pretty good separation still. Need to see that fast line close in there. Down here into the volume. Volume was picking up all the way to this last week. I'd like to see this now taper the other way as the charts head up and as the oscillators improve. There, the Williams, nice bounce off of that low there, out of the oversold territory, which I'd like to see. We might enter that once again, though. As you can see here, some of the other times in the past, it bounces up and down in that oversold territory, and it could do that for a few months, if not longer. So we're just going to have to wait and see here. But obviously, things are starting to form. It's just going to take some more time, and with that time is going to come either sideways trading or volatility. Let's now go to the daily chart. And now we're looking at the 1-year daily chart on the diamonds, and nice waterfall sell-off. Sure felt like a straight line. It wasn't, but it's the way it felt on up here. Interesting. We come off of that rebound there. We run smack dab into that 20 EMA. That happens oftentimes. We might run into the 50 and perhaps even to the 200, and there's going to be a hesitation, or oftentimes there's a hesitation in the market, so we might stall here for a little bit. That would be relatively normal. Down here into the MAC, the fast line has taken a very sharp turn, has run through the slow line, and we'll just have to wait to see if it stays up there. I'm not so sure yet with all of this volatility, but I think the probability is that we will stay above and we will continue to improve. And the histogram shows pretty much the same. Nice bottoming process in the price rate of change down there. Lots of sawtoothing before it finally decides to head up above the slow line and continue on up. I think it's just going to continue to sawtooth its way on up here. It's going to take some time, but things are improving, at least by the daily. So that's good to see. Here in the stochastics, same thing. Nice bottoming process on the way up. Volume looks good. I'd like to see this again taper off into the future, something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. There, Williams, nice bottoming process there. We moved above the 50 or midline and heading on up, and that's very good to see. Back on up here, I want to point something out. You know that we talked about heading into this, that things were getting a little bit dicey, and I was asking you to make sure you had dry powder, some cash, and that you were cautious and prudent. Looking here at the relative strength index, you can see a very good telltale sign things were eroding. And they did. So it can be one sign. It can be one oscillator. That's the clue to everything. So you got to look at all of those, and you got to look at them multiple times just to see what's going on. And it's always good to take a look at the monthly, weekly, and the daily charts. Different perspectives will give you a different take on the market. Back up here. So before we conclude, just a quick update. I bought Digital Realty Trust a while ago, and the symbol is DLR. Now, it was a manic depressive stock, so I took the opportunity, sold, I took a little bit of profit. I might go back in, but it's just way too volatile at this point in time. I'm not sure what's going on. I can't find enough information for me to feel comfortable. But quick little profit. That's good for me in these volatile times, so I'll take it and then just bide my time. And so for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.